Shalom. Kol Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird among the heathen, that look like those heathen. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone, coming at you another lesson in truth. And you can see on the page here that I have the arrows of indignation 144. And this brother, the Lord has blessed him because, he does a great thing with this video ministry, right? And he's using it in a very scriptural sense, in a very spiritual sense, to highlight the wickedness of Babylon and the wickedness of Esau, Edom, and his downfall. And he profiles that in these shorts that he puts up. He puts up these little shorts, and they're very powerful, and they're also very good teaching points for brothers to use. All right, especially the elder, more experienced brothers. You can take these and really these videos and really go deep into them. And this first one, and these first three couldn't be in a better order. This one is the one I saw this morning upon awakening. It says everything is defiled here in Babylon, including what we eat. And people going on a rant on how they're sick and they know it's the food. And I also find it very funny too, because all over TikTok, all over Instagram, there are commercials talking about heavy metals and defiled food. And so Esau's trying to jump on a bandwagon and put together, and now he wants to put together supplements and things, basically borrowing without permission from Dr. Sebi, quoting Dr. Sebi, talking about Dr. Sebi. But when Dr. Sebi was alive, all they did was slander him and call him a fraud. All right. And the man did something. He actually cured AIDS. He cured herpes, things that supposedly had no cure. And it's funny, after he died, I remember listening to commercials on the radio saying, though there's no cure for HIV or no cure for herpes. And that's not true. This man has documented court cases, case law that you can go look up and study, where he proved in a court of law that he did exactly what I just said. All right, so it's not just me talking, but you got to understand, we're up against a billion, multi-billion dollar, maybe even $1 trillion business with Big Pharma to treat the symptoms and not the cause. But now all of a sudden, these supplement companies are jumping on the bandwagon. All right, because I watched a commercial that talked about all the heavy metals. Well, how are we getting those metals? How's everybody getting all this metal and mercury in them? All right, chemtrails, the water supply. All right, and let me read a couple quick scriptures. Well, let me read one of these, and I'll read another one after she's done. So I'm gonna let her video play. And what's in Second Ezra? Both went actually Second Ezra. All right, because the Lord gave us the food, the herb to heal, to fix us. All right, this is Second Ezra 9:26. And it reads, so I went my way into the field, which was called Ardath, like as he commanded me. And there I sat among the flowers, and did eat of the herbs of the field, and of the meat, and of the same satisfied me. All right? So it's okay to eat meat. We're told to eat meat during the Passover. The problem is the meat is so defiled here in the West, in the Western-controlled places. All right? Especially in the West stronghold, which is America.
This country keeps you sick on purpose. Like I went to Colombia and I ate KFC, the McDonald's and everything. It was so fresh. It felt like they just cut the chicken in the back. It was so good that when I came back to America, like I craved it. It was terrible. It tastes like plastic. And then it made me, take a big shit. Like, it's like, oh, I forgot why I haven't ate KFC in a long time. Like, it makes me shit. But it didn't make me shit in Colombia. Like, yo, this country is keeping us sick.
I'm an American in Italy, and I'm here to inform you about America's shitty food and how they're making us sick, and why Americans are fat and Europeans are slender. Why? Because while we think we might have the same food, we actually have different, shittier food. I'm going to give you a concrete example. This is Fanta. Fanta in Europe is made from sugar, carbonated water, and real orange. In the U.S., it's all fake shit, all artificial, all bad for your health. In Europe, this is basically watered down real orange juice with carbonated water. In the U.S., it's all fake shit with artificial colors that are bad for you and also known to create ADHD in children. Strange.
This may be a bit controversial, maybe not. Since I was diagnosed, me and my mom have been putting in research about food and what we should do now that I have cancer, how I should manage my diet, what water I should drink. So we have completely cut off carbs, sugar, we cut off meats, and I'll tell you why. We even switched the water I'm on to an alkaline-based water. I think me being on this diet is helping a lot with chemo. It's been like a really bad couple of days, but it's getting better. But getting to the controversial part, I think if I wasn't living in America, I wouldn't have cancer. Now, you might be asking, how did you come to that conclusion? So we know carbs and sugar feeds cancer, so of course that's why we're going to cut that out. But why are we cutting out the meats? In America, all of our food compared to other countries, I don't know if there are others that do this too, all of our food is processed and pumped full of hormones. The type of cancer I have, ovarian cancer, is a hormonal cancer. It also feeds on hormones. And what is pumped full of hormones? You guessed it, meat in America. My brother is currently in Iraq visiting family, seeing how the place is, and he's loving it. And he was just telling me how the food there is in such small portions compared to the food we serve here, and yet he gets so full and he's losing weight. He's healthy there. And this guy has like allergies to every little thing on earth. I'm exaggerating, but still. My mom also told me that when she was in Turkey, she would eat the same foods that we'd have here, but over there, her blood sugar never went high. It was always healthy, and she got to eat whatever the fuck she wanted. Everything she ate never raised her blood pressure. She never had an issue with her diabetes, but the minute she came home to eat food, it was haywire. She's weak. She's in a bad state. It's just horrible. In America, we specialize a lot more with medicine, like with cancer and heart disease and diabetes, obesity, because of the food we feed our people. And the food we feed is so cancerous that we also, I'm pretty sure our country has the highest population in cancer. I was just telling my friends and my family, if I was living in another country, I probably wouldn't be diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer at 19 years old. And I do want to leave America. And like some people are like, oh, why don't you leave? I wish I could, but with what money? What am I going to do? Especially now that I'm sick.
Wow. So, the truth of the matter is,
I really feel like this country keeps...
let's pause it. America really is a death trap. All right, because the water, the food, the air, it all can harm you. You know, and she said a few things that that set off some alarms. All right, and then one of them being is that I, through the experiences that I've had dealing with, going back and forth to court, having a lawsuit against a very powerful fraudulent government organization that's committing fraud. I realize that it's not just lawyers and judges who are doing that are committing treasonous acts against the citizens of America and against the oaths that they took. All right. But also, it's not just law enforcement, because cops do it too. But it's also within the medical industry, because doctors, they take that oath to help people. But many of the doctors have sold out to big pharma. All right, they've sold out to big pharma, and as a result of it, they subscribe these medicines to you that don't really heal or fix you, when it's the food. Your diet is everything. This is 2 Ezra 12 and 51. But I remained still in the field 7 days, as the angel commanded me, and did eat only in those days of the flowers of the field, and had my meat of the herbs. The herbs will fix and heal you. All right. When you watch a lot of these time period pieces, movies and shows and things of that nature, you can see the native peoples of the different lands around the world go to the forest and use the herbs to heal and fix their people. All right. Because it's truth to that. And if it wasn't truth to that, most of the ingredients, in most medicines, okay, for example, I can speak on this because I know I had a bout with high blood pressure. All right. And, and I didn't want to be captive to medicine. So, so I was fighting it for years, up and down, because it started, about 5 years ago, and it took me about 3 years to clear it completely. And I knew all I had to do was diet and exercise. I mean, I knew that part. But what I was trying to figure out is what was triggering it. And it wasn't what I was eating that was really triggering, although I did have to readjust my diet because I was still eating like I did in my 20s and 30s. I just figured, I work out twice a day, I can still do this. No, you can't. Your body changes. But the thing is, it wasn't even so much as what I was eating. It was what I was lacking, and it's all the food is void of the nutrients that are in it. All right, and this I can speak on, because, like I said, because I've used it. I got blood pressure medication in the next room. All right, but what I found out was the most common the most common denominator in most blood medicines or blood pressure medicines is magnesium. So I increased my magnesium while decreasing sodium, decreasing sugar, decreasing caffeine. And all of a sudden I kept coming out okay and normal and not dangerously high and all that. So I just made the adjustments and kept making the adjustments, because these people, they just want to make money. So she's right when she says these people, they want to keep you sick. All right. So the same way that the law commits fraud against the people, it seems that the medical, associations are doing the same. Instead of healing the people, it's all about making a profit. Like I said, using Dr. Sebi's research and his proven, how you can, because they'll say, you can't deny this, because you can go do the research and find the court cases and find the case law. All right. When he proved to the judge, because I think the judge said, well, you're going to have to bring evidence that you cured, HIV or AIDS or whatever. And said he had to, I think if I'm not mistaken, it said that he had to bring 2 or maybe 3 witnesses. And I think he had several. He had a couple people that came in from the land of Israel. He had some Israelis come in. They came in with their medical records, proving that they had been tested positive for these diseases that they tell you on the radio and on television are not curable. Then all of a sudden, Dr. Sebi dies strangely, all right, of a disease which we know he could have healed himself from. The man was extremely healthy. Even though he was 80 years old, he was probably healthier than the average person 40 in America. All right, and yeah, well, you know how that goes. And now all of a sudden, you seen all these commercials that are basically using him to make a profit. All right, but we were warned about this pseudoscience. I'm just gonna speak on that scripture. I think it's 2 Timothy 6:20. All right, how they would try to and I'm not actual science. Science is needed. Science is important. Salakia. Science simply means to know. All right, learn that from our beloved elder apostle Gabar. All right, how to research the meaning of words. And when you research the meaning of the word science, it literally means to know. And I always like to use the fact I'm holding my phone, and if I let it go, it fell and hit the desk. All right, gravity works. That's science. We know. All right, so that's basically what science means. Something that you know that's going to be 100% exactly what it is again and again and again. If it's a hypothesis or a thesis or some sort of guess, that's not true science. Point blank period. All right? That's not true science at all. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and get ready to close this one out. Because what I'd like to do is actually go into each one of these videos. The next one is the Vatican apologizes for colonialism. Your apologies, recompense is due. All right, that one, and then this one. Hey, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. No complaining. That's the advice you gave us, right? And you can see it says inflation making it impossible to live. Yeah. So we're going to go in on the Lord's will. I want to get to those because I've been he's been piling them up. And I was like, man, I need to do something with these videos. But let's get this one. Let's go ahead and get that Timothy. Yeah, this is 1 Timothy 6:20. And we were warned by Timothy that these days would come, And it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. So I'm not speaking against science. What I'm speaking is against false science, pseudoscience, which is heavily used. All right. And then they market things from pseudoscience to the people. All right. Not actual science. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash, Kwam Yasharala Shalom.